Heya, it's Nax and welcome back to my channel. What's up, you guys? It's been such a long time since I last posted a tech video, right? So that's what we're going to be doing today. In one of my recent streams, some of you guys mentioned that I should just document whatever it is that I'm working on, no matter how small the detail is. And it would be a way for me to put out content and throw a bone out there for the people who appreciate this sort of content that I do, which is PC and modding stuff. So today we're going to be doing a quick BIOS update for my latest build. His name is Kratos. You guys have probably already seen bits and pieces of him throughout my channel because I have been posting my journey into completing him. And believe it or not, I know it looks like a mess. I mean, the fans are on backwards, but all of the heavy lifting, let me run back that. My Filipino came out there for a moment. But believe it or not, all of the heavy lifting is already done, and now I just have to add in the little details. I just want to make sure everything's aligned, and I'm gonna leave out a lot for the final video of Kratos, so don't worry about that. But right now, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be updating the BIOS of the motherboard. So most of my viewers probably don't know what a BIOS is because let's face it, there's a mix of you guys from reaction videos to gaming. So BIOS stands for Basic Input Output System, and the best way that I can put it is it's the firmware of your motherboard. Now, an analogy that I could think of is think of the firmware of your iPhone or of your Samsung phone. You know how we sometimes get those notifications to update the iOS to the latest iOS, and when you do that, you get newer features, you get new emojis, it becomes more compatible with more apps. But like with updating your iOS as well, sometimes the newer version can come with instabilities and more bugs. So all that's to say, some updates are better than others. So the reason why I feel like I can make a blooper reel of all the times I got tongue-tied. Oh my god, what's wrong with me? Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna go even if my accent comes out. So the reason why I'm updating the BIOS of this motherboard is because this is a Z690 chipset, and the BIOS that it came with is compatible with only a 12th gen CPU. But for Kratos, I'm gonna be using a 13th gen CPU. Now, keep in mind that I did order this motherboard a couple of months back, so there is a good chance that if you order it now, that it will be shipped with the latest BIOS. So there. Anyway, with that said, let's get started and update the BIOS. Now, I'm going to be using the flash BIOS function of the motherboard. Now, for this step, you don't need to have anything attached to your motherboard. You don't need to have the CPU on. You don't need to have the graphics card on. You can have nothing attached to your motherboard or installed in your motherboard. The only thing that you need is the power cable onto the motherboard itself, the ATX cable, and one CPU power cable on the CPU one. Okay, so this is what the side of the motherboard looks like, and this is the BIOS button right here. Now I have my motherboard upside down, that's why the word is upside down. So that's the flash BIOS button. Next thing that you're gonna do is you wanna get your USB with the latest BIOS, and all you have to do is to plug it into the side of your motherboard. Now, most motherboards have a specific USB port where you have to insert for flashing your BIOS, and for this motherboard, it's right over here. See? It has the label, Flash BIOS. I'm gonna show you guys what it looks like when you're using a USB that your motherboard doesn't like. Kind of like how someone would tell you they don't like you during the first date. So here's the USB, here's the BIOS flash button, and we're gonna press that. Okay, so it's blinking, seems good. But then if you look at your motherboard, there's no light, there's nothing going on with the motherboard, nothing at all. And then when you go back to your flash BIOS button, it just stops. It becomes a flat line of red color. Basta, like it doesn't flicker anymore. So it's a solid red color. And that's how you know that your motherboard isn't liking the USB that you're using. So now let's use a different USB, which I know my motherboard likes. Oh. There we go. Now you guys can see that the motherboard lit up. And that's what it's supposed to look like if your motherboard is successfully updating the BIOS. And now all we have to do is just wait. So you guys see the blinking on the flash BIOS button. That's what you want to see, because that's how you know that the BIOS is being updated, that the files in the USB are being utilized. And when the motherboard is done updating the flash BIOS, it'll stop blinking. It won't be like a static one color red like you saw on the other with the other USB. It's gonna just stop blinking, meaning there's gonna be no light at all. Alright, so the BIOS is updated, it stopped flashing, the light's completely off, and we're done. So that's how you update your motherboard to the latest BIOS using the flash button. Okay, before we go, you guys, I actually forgot to explain the step of how to transfer the BIOS update onto the USB drive. Okay, so here we are on the official support page. So this is where we can see all the latest BIOS updates. And we're gonna wanna go ahead and download the latest BIOS version update right over here. So there, it's done downloading. Let's just click on that. Now it's a zip file, so we're gonna want to extract this real quick. Just extract that. Extract. Right, that was easy. So this is the file that we want. We're just gonna cut this and paste it into the root directory of our USB. So make sure it's not inside a folder in the USB, otherwise the motherboard won't be able to recognize it. Now notice that I actually have another folder in the root directory of my USB, but that's all right because the USB is still gonna work for its intended purpose. Now, with the motherboard that we have, next thing that we're gonna do is we're just gonna want to rename the BIOS update file to msi.rom. And that's pretty much it. You're done. Your USB is ready to go. Alright, so that's how you update the BIOS using the flash BIOS button. I'm excited. Next video or next couple of videos will be leading up to us completing Kratos, and I can't wait for you guys to see it. But right now, I'm just gonna end this video right here. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.